Hello, it's CJ Miller. I'm in Shreveport, Louisiana, across the Red River from beautiful Bossier City, Louisiana. So I made quite a bit of fish, and basically I did this by cutting the fillets that I had. I cut them down the center approximately, and then I created a batter by putting them in dry, self-rising flour, seasoned, of course, and I used a combination of um, Old Bay seasoning and a seafood seasoning that I had, and I used a combination, and I just did it to taste. Now this is actually not fish. This is a bit of the batter that was clumping, and so I decided to go ahead and take it and make like a little pan bread out of it. Get a little crispy. It's basically between the fats that were in the pan, which was a combination of sesame seed and sesame seed oil and unsalted butter, uh, did really, really well, worked really, really well. For creating these biscuit-like bits of pone, basically, which is mushed them together and fried them in the bottom of the pan. But anyway, here's the fish, and you can just take it with your finger. And this requires no additional flavor. This is quite seasoned, but this is this created kind of a fish and chips type batter, so it's a little thicker and different than breading your fish. There's your fish, catfish fillet, surrounded by a batter of self-rising flour and that's seasoned. And then, of course, I let it get coated. And then I just took a little water and I moistened the breading around the fish in kind of a thick, doughy kind of situation. Delicious. And I let it go for about 6 minutes on either side. And this is delicious. And there's enough there that's going to get me through a couple of meals. Get me through most of tomorrow, actually. Look at this. If this looks familiar, it is because this is the exact type of batter that is on the pre-packaged chicken that I've been making, except I made this from scratch, meaning that my preparation for chicken strips just got a hell of a lot cheaper because I can make them myself, and they cook up just as easily. And you know, the cooking video for this actually is so short. Take the fish, put it in the seasoned flour, get it well coated, let it sit for a few minutes, just long enough to cling while I'm heating up the oil. And then when the oil gets heated, I go ahead and moisten and let it clump up around the fish, and then make sure that I'm frying in a hot pan, a hot non-stick pan, basically. And cool. There we go. This is catfish, but this would work good for any type of white fish, any kind of tender, uh, you know, cod, Alaskan pollock, anything like that. This would be great. And look at this, you get a good batter on it. That's the coating. It's a big, thick, fluffy coating on this. This is great. Be aware, if you're watching your carbs, you only want to eat a few of these at a time. And this is the catfish fillet that we were talking about. But what I did was I took them and I cut them down the center. And there you go. If you have a little bit of corn flour, you could throw a little corn flour in here if you wanted to, but I don't know. Sometimes when something's like a real, a cornmeal battered, corn flour battered, or whatever fish, and if I eat a lot of it, then it sets off my allergy to corn. Which is so weird because I can get away with some popcorn or something like that. Because it's popped and fluffy and you don't eat near as much as you think you're eating when you're eating popcorn, which I don't eat a lot of it. I eat it if I go to a movie theater or something, but and I can eat Doritos or other corn chips or something like that. But cornbread doesn't really sit extremely well with me. And especially if I eat too many corn chips at a Mexican restaurant or something like that. Maybe I'll get a reflux or something like that. So I want to be careful. Corn gives me a reflux. And, flour battered fish does not. So that's why I do a lot of flour battering. But also, look at this. This is great. And you really wouldn't know the difference. That was 2 pieces of the fish. And I wanted to show that little piece of breading that I made off to the side. You can make variations of that even when you're not making fish. If you use like a little bit of milk and a little bit of butter in the pan, you can make small little biscuits, a biscuit batter or something like that, and make a small little button and do it in a pan, and it's like a pan bread. And if you're doing it with basically just water, like I did, and just what oil is in the bottom of the pan, then maybe you call that a pone, which is a small measurement of dough that you're going to make into bread. Okay, love and light, bon appetit, for real, man. Good night.